There is a moment in a man's life that rarely arrives with noise. It does not come with shouting, accusations, or dramatic exits. Instead, it arrives quietly, like a door that was slowly closing for months until one day we finally notice it has already shut. Many men believe love disappears suddenly, but in truth, it almost never does. It fades gradually, silently, through 1,000 small moments that go unseen by the man who stopped paying attention. We often think betrayal looks like disloyalty or abandonment. Yet the deeper betrayal is blindness, our own blindness to what was happening right in front of us. While we were distracted by comfort, ego, routine, or pride, the emotional landscape changed. The warmth cooled, the attention softened, the connection thinned. But because the decline was slow, we told ourselves everything was fine. There is a reason ancient thinkers warned us about sleep. Not the sleep of the body, but the sleep of awareness. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." His words were not only about death, but about urgency, about seeing clearly, about refusing to drift through life in a fog of emotional laziness. When love begins to die, the signs rarely shout. They whisper. And only a disciplined mind hears whispers. The tragedy is not simply that love fades. The tragedy is that many men wake up only after it is already gone. By then, the damage has already unfolded. But if we cultivate awareness, discipline, and mastery over our own reactions, we can see clearly, without anger, without desperation, without losing ourselves. Because the real lesson here is not about her, it is about us. It is about learning to see reality as it is rather than as we wish it to be. And once we learn to see clearly, nothing in life, love included, can truly destroy us. 1. The silence that replaced her curiosity. In the early days, curiosity is the language of love. A woman asks questions because she wants to know the terrain of our mind. She studies our habits, our frustrations, our dreams. Her attention is sharp because emotional investment sharpens awareness. But when love begins to fade, curiosity fades with it. The questions stop. Not dramatically, just gradually. Conversations that once explored our thoughts now drift toward neutral topics. Logistics replace connection. What once felt like interest slowly becomes polite interaction. Many men fail to notice this shift because they interpret silence as peace. They believe fewer questions mean fewer problems. In truth, the opposite is often unfolding. Seneca once wrote, "He who is brave is free." And courage here means the courage to face uncomfortable realities. When attention disappears, it signals that emotional investment may already be declining. A disciplined mind does not panic when noticing this change. It observes. It studies the pattern. Because emotional awareness is not weakness. It is perception. And perception is power. 2. The gradual withdrawal of emotional energy. Love is not proven by words alone. It is proven by energy, emotional presence, effort, engagement. When someone truly loves us, their attention carries warmth. They lean into conversations, their eyes linger, their reactions carry emotional weight. But when love fades, the energy changes. Responses become shorter, reactions become neutral. Conversations feel thinner, as if some invisible substance has evaporated from the interaction. The inexperienced mind interprets this as mood, stress, temporary distance. But the disciplined mind understands something deeper. Energy rarely lies. Epictetus reminded us, "Do not seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish for things to happen as they do happen." His wisdom teaches acceptance, not passive acceptance, but clarity. When emotional energy shifts, we must see it clearly rather than invent excuses. Clarity protects dignity, and dignity protects the soul. 3. Respect begins to. Quietly erode love and respect are intertwined like roots beneath the surface. When one weakens, the other rarely remains strong for long. In the beginning, respect shows itself through attentiveness, through listening, through subtle deference toward our time, our boundaries, our priorities. But when affection fades, respect often follows. Interruptions become more frequent. Small dismissals appear. sarcasm replaces admiration. The tone changes. Not dramatically, but enough that something feels subtly off. Many men ignore these signs because they fear confrontation. They prefer temporary comfort over difficult truth. Marcus Aurelius warned against this kind of avoidance when he wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." The disciplined man does not beg for respect. He simply refuses to remain where it no longer exists. That quiet refusal alone changes everything. 4. The future stops. Appearing in her language. One of the clearest signs of emotional investment is future orientation. When love is strong, people naturally speak about tomorrow, next month, next year. Plans appear naturally in conversation. But when love fades, the future disappears from language. The relationship becomes trapped in the present moment, focused only on convenience, logistics, or immediate needs. Long-term vision slowly evaporates. This shift often happens subconsciously. She may not even realize she has stopped imagining a future together. But language reveals the truth long before words openly admit it. The wise mind listens carefully to these patterns, because speech is often the mirror of the heart. And when the future disappears from someone's imagination, it usually means we have already disappeared from their emotional horizon. 5. Your pain stops affecting her. When two people are emotionally connected, their internal worlds overlap. Joy spreads between them, but so does pain. When we struggle, the person who loves us feels it. They may not be able to solve the problem, but they respond with empathy. But when love fades, empathy fades with it. Our frustrations become inconveniences rather than shared burdens. Our emotional struggles feel like disturbances rather than moments of connection. At first, this can feel confusing. We wonder if we are asking for too much, if we are being overly sensitive. But emotional indifference rarely appears without cause. The ancient philosophers warned that attachment to external validation leads to suffering. When we depend on someone else's emotional response to define our worth, we hand them control over our peace. A disciplined mind reclaims that control, because self-respect must never depend on another person's emotional temperature. 6. The subtle rise of irritation. Love creates patience. Even during disagreements, there is softness underneath the conflict, a willingness to understand, a desire to repair. But when love fades, patience often disappears. Small habits that once seemed charming begin to provoke irritation. Minor mistakes trigger disproportionate reactions. The emotional buffer that once protected the relationship weakens. What used to be playful teasing slowly becomes genuine annoyance. This change can feel confusing because the behaviors themselves have not changed. Only the emotional lens through which they are viewed has changed. Seneca warned about the dangers of emotional volatility, writing, "Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it." The disciplined mind does not react impulsively when noticing irritation. It observes the deeper pattern, because irritation is often not about the behavior. It is about the erosion of affection beneath it. 7. The moment we finally wake up. For many men, awareness arrives late. One day we suddenly realize that the warmth we once felt is gone. The conversations feel hollow. The connection feels mechanical. The emotional gravity that once pulled two lives together has disappeared. And the painful truth emerges. The signs were there all along. But awareness, no matter how late, is still a form of awakening. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself each morning, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This principle transforms heartbreak into discipline, because when love leaves, we still retain something far more powerful: control over our character. We cannot force another person to love us, but we can choose dignity over desperation, clarity over illusion, strength over resentment. And when we do that, when we master our own inner world, we discover something extraordinary. Even when someone else's love fades, our strength does not.